Whispers of the Forgotten Child. In the heart of Omuegui, a small village surrounded by rustling palm trees and red sand, lived a girl whose name was rarely spoken aloud. Her name was Grace. She was the kind of child who appeared and disappeared like a whisper on the wind, quiet, watchful, and filled with a silence too heavy for her age. Grace had been found by the riverbank during the harmattan season when the dry wind cracked lips and dried the soul. Wrapped in tattered Ankara cloth, her cries barely carried above the rustling of the leaves. It was Mama Nkechi, the old widow with no children, who heard her. The villagers say it was the spirits that guided Mama Nkechi to the river that morning, but Mama always said it was the ancestors. She took Grace in and gave her life, but not a name. "You will keep the name the spirits gave you," she said, "because you came from the water, not from me." But Omuegui was not kind to orphans. Children called her Spirit Child. They whispered that her mother died in childbirth because she was cursed. Others claimed her father had been a madman who wandered into the river and was never seen again. In a land where ancestry was everything, Grace had none. She grew up between shadows, neither fully accepted nor completely rejected. Mama Nkechi tried to shield her, but time is a cruel thief. At 11, Grace buried the only woman who had ever called her daughter. Left to the mercy of the village, she survived by cleaning calabashes at the market, sweeping the compounds of the elders, and singing softly to herself beneath the udola tree when the day was long and cruel. One harmattan morning, as the village prepared for the annual New Yam festival, a man arrived. Tall, in a faded agbada with tired eyes that held the weight of many rains. He said he was a teacher, sent from the city to reopen the long-abandoned community school. No one paid him much mind until he stood in the market square, chalk in hand, and wrote the word hope on a black slate. Then he spoke. "To any child who wishes to learn, I will teach. For free." Most of the village children scoffed. They had farm duties and apprenticeships. But Grace came, barefoot, with her hair undone and her eyes wide like the morning sky. Mr. Tond, the teacher, noticed her silence first. She answered questions with her eyes and wrote with the grace of someone who had read in her dreams. Over time, he noticed more: the bruises she tried to hide, the way she flinched when someone raised their voice, the way she lingered after class as though afraid to return to the world. He never asked. She never told. But one evening, as the sun bled into the red earth, she stayed behind and whispered, "Do forgotten children have futures?" Mr. Ton's heart clenched. "Forgotten by who?" he asked gently. "By everyone," she said. "By the ones who never named me. The ones who left me at the river. Even by the ones who tried but didn't stay." He crouched beside her. "You are not forgotten, Grace. The soil remembers your footprints. The wind carries your voice. The sky watches your tears. You are written into this land." And that night, Grace dreamed of her mother for the first time, a soft face, an unfamiliar lullaby, and hands that once cradled her with trembling love. Months passed. Grace bloomed. Her stories, once hidden in her chest, began to pour out as essays, poems, and short plays that Mr. Ton read with misty eyes. She wrote of spirits and sorrow, of pain and resilience, of longing and the slow, stubborn birth of hope. When an NGO from Lagos visited the village to sponsor gifted students, it was Grace's writing that caught their eye. They offered her a scholarship. But the villagers were divided. "She is not one of us," some said. "She carries a dark past," others whispered. But the old chief, leaning on his staff, silenced them. "Even the river that swallows sometimes gives life," he said. "Let the girl go." And so, on a misty morning, Grace stood at the edge of the village with a small bag and a heart swollen with dreams. Mr. Ton was beside her, pride etched across his face. She turned to the land that shaped her, and for a moment, she thought she heard a whisper, the voice of Mama Nkechi, soft and strong. "Go, find your name in the world." And she did. Years later, a book arrived in the Omrigyu school library. The title was Whispers of the Forgotten Child. Inside, a dedication read, "To every child who has been overlooked, abandoned, or silenced. You are seen. You are heard. You are loved. Grace is." And in the quiet corners of Omrigyu, her name was finally spoken with pride. Thanks for watching. If you don't follow us, you may not see us again.
Like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more stories like this.